Okay, so we're going to talk about improper fraction to mixed number. You watched the video earlier, we talked together about it, we kind of talked through it. So let's start with an improper fraction. Remember, improper fractions, your numerator is greater than your denominator. So we're going to start off with 15 halves. Now, if we did the long version of this, we of course could take out 2 halves, because 2 halves equals 1 whole. And we could subtract 2 halves and get 13 halves, then minus 2 halves, get 11 halves, and so on and so forth. That's a long way to do it. That takes an awful long time. So let's start with 15 halves and think about the steps that we could follow that are a little shortcut, because we did repeated subtraction, so we could do division. So what I can do is 15 divided by 2. And when I do that, I set it up using the algorithm. 2 goes into 15 7 times. 7 times 2 equals 14. I subtract. That's my remainder. So 7 remainder 1. So 7 is going to be our new whole, because we were able to remove 7 wholes from 15 halves. Then 1, which is our remainder, is going to be our new numerator. And our denominator is going to stay the same. So 15 halves is equal to 7 and 1 half. All we did, remember, was we divided the numerator by the denominator. When we did that, our quotient was 7. That became our whole. Our remainder was 1. That became our numerator. And our denominator was 2 because it stayed the same. Let's do another one, and then I'll let you try some. So let's try 17 thirds. So we're going to take our numerator, which is 17. We're going to divide it by our denominator, which is 3. 3 goes into 17 5 times. 5 times 3 equals 15. We subtract. We get 2. So 2 is our remainder. So 5 is going to be our whole, because we were able to remove 5 wholes from 17 thirds, and we had 2 thirds left over. 2 is our remainder, and our denominator stays the same. So again, we were able to do 17 numerator divided by denominator, remainder 5, remainder 2, so 5 and 2/3 is our new fraction. Pardon me, is our mixed number. Remember, mixed numbers are whole numbers and fractions put together. Now I want you to try 21 fifths. Go ahead and on your dry erase board with your dry erase marker, try to convert 21 fifths into a mixed number. You should have started with doing 21 divided by 5. If you haven't, go ahead and try that. 5 goes into 21 4 times. 5 times 4 equals 20. We subtract, so 1 is our remainder. Now how would I write that as a mixed number? Right, 4 would be our whole, 1, which is our remainder, would be our numerator, and 5 is our denominator. So 21 fifths, written as a mixed number, is 4 and 1/5. Let's try this one. 34 fourths. On your dry erase board with your dry erase marker, convert 34 fourths into a mixed number. Go ahead and do that now. You should have started with 34, because it's our numerator, divided by 4. If you haven't done that, try that now. 4 goes into 34 8 times. 4 times 8 equals 32. I subtract, I get 2, so that's my remainder. 8 remainder 2. Try writing that as a mixed number. You should have written 8 and 2/4. Now, if we wanted to get really particular about it, we could actually simplify or reduce 2/4 into what fraction? That's right, 1/2. So really, 8 and 1/2 would be the better answer, but I would have accepted either one, 8 and 2/4 or 8 and 1/2. Now let's talk about converting a mixed number to an improper fraction. Here we have 5 and 3/4. So that's 5 wholes and 3/4 of the next whole. So if we wanted to, and we know that these wholes are cut into fourths. So if we wanted to, we could have 5 wholes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3/4 of the next whole, which would give us how many fourths? Right, it would give us 23/4. But of course, that is definitely not the most efficient way to do it. So there's actually a shortcut. So we have 5 and 3/4 again, and we're going to convert that. But the shortcut is, if we think about it, if you think about how many wholes, how many fourths equal a whole? Right, 4/4 equal 1 whole. So how many wholes do we have? 5. So really what we're going to do is 5 times 4/4 plus 3/4. 5 times 4 equals 20. So it's 24th plus 3/4, which equals 23/4. To simplify that, basically all you're doing is taking the whole, which is 5, times the denominator, which is 4, adding the numerator, which is 3, and it's all over the same denominator. 5 times 4 equals 20, plus 3 equals 23 over 4, so 23/4. So remember, it's the whole times the denominator, and for this purpose I'm just going to put in DEN period, plus the numerator, all over the same denominator. Okay, so we have the whole times the denominator plus the numerator over the denominator. So let's try another one. Let's say we have 6 and 3/5. So our whole is 6. So we start with 6 times our denominator, which is 5, equals 5, plus our numerator, which is 3, all over the same denominator, which is 5. So what's 6 times 5? Right, 30, plus 3 over 5. 30 plus 3? Right, 33. So we end up with 6 and 3/5 is equivalent to 33/5. This is the mixed number, and this is the improper fraction. Let's try another one, and you can do it as we do it. So we're going to start with 9 and 3/4. So I'd like you to convert that into an improper fraction. Remember to use this tip up here to help you do that. You should have started with 9 times 4 plus 3 over 4. 9 times 4 equals 36 plus 3 over 4. And finally, 36 plus 3 equals 39, then over 4. So 9 and 3/4 is equal to 39/4. Let's try one more. So we have 11 and 2/7. Convert that into an improper fraction. And remember, you can use this method, this formula, to help you do it. Do that now on your dry erase board with a dry erase marker. You might be able to do it in your head, but to practice at the beginning is a good thing to use your dry erase marker and your dry erase marker board to help figure it out. So we start with our whole. Our whole is 11. Our denominator is 7. So it's 11 times 7 plus our numerator, which is 2. All of that is over the same denominator. 11 times 7, right, 77. Plus 2 over 7. 77 plus 2, correctamundo, 79. So 11 and 2/7 is equal to 79/7. If you need to go back and rewatch this video, that's fine. Good luck.